All right, growing food safety concerns across the US are putting consumers on alert. This as another food recall is issued. Outshine frozen fruit bars are being pulled from the shelves for possibly containing glass. The recall covers 5 flavors, including grape, strawberry, tangerine, watermelon and black cherry, along with a 24-count variety pack. The recall is just the latest, actually, in food safety concerns for the United States Food and Drug Administration. So far this year, there have been more than 1,000 cases of illnesses associated with outbreaks other than the Cyclospora outbreak. And the US is still dealing with that Cyclospora outbreak. They've been dealing with it for the past few months. It's linked to iceberg lettuce sold at restaurants and grocery stores. The parasite has killed at least 2 people, but sickened thousands more. Here to talk about all of this is infectious disease specialist and epidemiologist, Dr. Céline Gounder. Dr. Gounder, thank you so much for being with us. So essentially, it's not in our imaginations. Aside from the Cyclospora outbreak, this summer has been particularly tricky for foodborne illnesses. Can you explain why?
Yeah, so the U.S. Public Interest Research Group review counted some 320 food recalls in the past year, which is versus 296 the year before. So there's been an increase in food recalls. Some of this is related to more sensitive tests. People may recall the use of PCR tests for COVID. PCR tests have become much more widely used, in part because that technology was scaled up dramatically during the pandemic. Those tests detect these kinds of outbreaks better. And also the number of recalls is not the right measure to be using here. So a recall means that somebody found the food and it got taken off the shelves. But if you don't find the food, there's no recall and people may keep getting sick. And to put this into context, FDA investigators closed about 40% of their outbreak cases over the past 5 years without ever naming a food. So almost half did they not find a food for an outbreak in the past 5 years.
So this is actually terrifying, and essentially what you're saying is that it could actually be worse than we even realize, because it's not just the outbreaks that we're aware of, they're the outbreaks that we're not aware of. There's situations where the food item in question isn't actually identified, so people still keep eating it. So if you are a consumer and you are listening to all of this, I mean, you know, I did away with iceberg lettuce as soon as I heard of the Cyclospora outbreak, but aside from that, there are obviously other outbreaks that we're talking about here. How do we as consumers keep ourselves safer in that kind of environment?
Well, you know, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I'm not going to eat produce, fresh produce. And I don't think that's actually the right answer here. The more processed the food, the more steps there are in the supply chain, the more places that food has been, the more likely that food is to be contaminated at some point along the way. Now, our supply chain for fresh produce is international. A lot of it comes from Mexico and elsewhere in Latin America, for example. But I think with fresh produce, the key is you want to peel it if it's something peelable, or cook it if you can. If you buy locally, it's going to have fewer steps in the supply chain, so fewer opportunities for contamination. So that's also helpful. But bigger picture, you know, some of what we saw with the iceberg lettuce, for example, is a good example of processing where you're shredding it. So that introduces an extra step than if you're just buying a head of lettuce.
Okay, this is really interesting. So yes, the more processed the food, the more ingredients, the more steps, etc. When you're dealing with natural products, healthy, I hate to say healthy, but yes, we're talking about fruits and vegetables here. The less steps there are, therefore, the more likely it is to be pure. No guarantees, of course, but you know, I always, for example, I buy my kale. I'm obsessed with kale and spinach. I buy my kale and spinach bagged always. Is that something that you think, you know, people like me should stop doing? Should we just sort of buy the head as opposed to making sure it's already bagged?
Well, you've added another processing step, right? By having something that's bagged, if it's shredded, if the leaves are taken off, that is an extra step, and that is an opportunity for some kind of contamination to occur.
And so just in terms of the food safety efforts, you know, obviously we've had processed food in America for many decades, for example, but you sort of trust that there is enough food safety efforts to eliminate or drastically reduce the chances of something being contaminated. Explain to us what is going wrong here in those efforts.
Right. So, it's some of what I described, which is the testing has gotten better. So that is part of it. And our food supply has gotten more global. But you also have some of what's happened in terms of public health funding cuts. So you had cuts at the FDA. You have some 1,000 or so foreign food inspections last year, which was down by about 30%. So a lot fewer foreign food inspections. About 1 in 5 FDA investigator jobs were sitting vacant last year. So you have FDA, you have the CDC, which is part of something called FoodNet. So you have FDA, CDC, USDA, and others. And FoodNet tracks different foodborne infections across the US. Partly as a result of funding cuts, they cut the number of infections that FoodNet tracks from 8 to 2. Among those cut was Cyclospora. So Cyclospora, of course, being the one that causes the explosive diarrhea linked to iceberg lettuce. You also have dramatic cuts that were made to state and local health departments. So they're the ones that interview people who got sick to do the trace back to figure out what food was involved. So their budgets got thinner. So it's really at every step of the way. And then on top of that, there was something called the food traceability rule that was supposed to go into effect earlier this year. And what we know is that in March, the FDA announced a delay in implementation of that rule. And it was right around the time that happened that Taylor Farms parent company, so Taylor Farms was the one implicated with the iceberg Cyclospora outbreak. The parent company gave $1 million to the pro-Trump super PAC. That donation is in FEC filings. We don't know if the two are connected, but there is a coincidence of timing. And that rule, this traceability rule, would require companies to keep lot-by-lot records of where the food has been, so that if you have an outbreak, instead of taking weeks, months to try to figure out what food was implicated and what the source was, you would have those records in detail. So now the enforcement of that rule has been punted to 2028.
Gosh, you really do know your stuff. Dr. Céline Gounder, thank you so much. And you gave me so many layers there, just in terms of some of the issues with food safety. And obviously the important point about the potential link, we don't know for sure, but the potential link between Taylor Farms and obviously the Trump campaign. All right, Dr. Céline Gounder, thank you so much.